What is up, everybody? Hunter with LostSocketGarage, and today we are going to be talking about a very hot topic, and that is the Eleanor kit. What does it cost, and what does it really take to get it done right? Let's get it done. Okay, so for those of you who have watched some of our videos before, for those of you who've talked to me on the phone about building Eleanors, etc., you know I have some really strong feelings about it. Everybody wants the Eleanor movie car, they want all the fiberglass and etc., but most people don't really understand how much work it actually takes to get done right. They think they can just order a bunch of panels, slap them on, and all is good. But today what I want to do is break down for you what it actually takes to get these things done right. And for that, since I don't do fiberglass, we have to take a field trip. So today we're going to be going next door to Projects and Dreams here in Salt Lake. They do a shit ton of Chevys and Mopars. Every damn time I film. Every damn time. I swear to God, just stop driving by. I'm trying to make a life on YouTube. They do a bunch of Chevys and Mopars. We're going to take a shop tour, and we're going to take a look at one of our early conversions that they are now turning into an Eleanor and doing a Godzilla swap on. So let's take a little walk. It's a nice day outside. What kind of walking music do you guys like? Working 9 to 5, what a way to make a living. Hello, Shop Dog Marley. Hello, sweetheart. Yeah, I got cool shit here. What is this, you might ask? It's pretty. It's pure sex in a box. Sex in a box! 572 Hemi. Oof, we'll show you what that's going into here in a minute. Yeah, we're just gonna walk through some of the pretty shit real quick. Oh yeah, we'll get into that in a minute. Tyler! Hi. Hello. Say hi, Tyler.
This is Tyler. Hello.
This is Tyler. This is who we're gonna be talking to today primarily. Let's show off some of the other stuff Tyler's done though. Tell us about this, Tyler.
It's a 57 Chevy. It was a long bed, like big ass cattle truck. Small back window. Made a short or a big back window out of it. Bought this frame from Speed Tech. Bought a little step side to put on it.
Speed Tech. You guys, so you did the exhaust not too long ago, and you set it up with V-band because you're a hero.
Spent about a day TIG welding it all together and hating life for a couple hours, but
this thing is sick. All right. Let's move over to some other cool shit you've done.
This one's a 70 Cuda. We widened this one about 5 inches in the rear, 2.5 on either side.
70 Cuda. Now this one is a Gator Top. I don't really remember what the fuck that means.
Back in the 70s, they made 2 of these. One was a Charger and the other one was this Cuda. And it came with a Gator Top, a bench seat, AC, pretty much anything you could come up with in the 70s it's had. For about 40 years, nobody's found the GT, the Dodge. So right now, this kind of sits as a 101 with a Gator Top.
That's so crazy.
We brought the wheel wells into the frame, widened everything out. You can stick about 15-inch wide tires underneath there when it's all said and done.
15s. It'll need it because that Hemi is going in this, right?
Yes, sir.
Oh my God. Okay, so tell me about the decision to widen this 2 inches in the back.
The guy just kind of wanted to have his own little one-off car, but not pull away from the actual look of the Cuda. And he knew he was going to throw some heavy power at it. We couldn't figure out how we were going to get it to stick, so this was one of the best decisions we came up with.
Is to just
widen it, yeah. So just we split it right here down the middle. Came over, you can see where the gray's at, and then brought it over 2.5 on either side.
Really squares out the whole thing too.
Yeah, and actually it brings it to the same width of the Charger that year. It's like 74 at the quarters or whatever at the doors. So I just brought it right back to the rear here.
That's dope.
It's in there now, but
it's come a long way. You've done a lot of work on this, man. A lot of good work.
Great project. Never worked on a Mopar, so I was excited to be able to work on a one-on-one. So this is cool.
Not a lot of Mopars out here.
No, not a lot of them survived.
It's so sad. And we got a Mustang back there, but no one really cares about that. That's just a Mustang 2 front end. So you did. Okay, cool. Moving on. Oh, yes. Plymouth Roadrunner. Say hi, Jesse, but don't be weird.
Hi. Yep, you're weird. I'm weird.
Jesse's weird. Bronco. Yeah, these guys do a lot of cool stuff here. Here's the main star of the show and the reason that you clicked on the thumbnail. This is a conversion that we did quite a while back, kind of our early days. Wanted an Eleanor clone. We didn't have the ability to do the fiberglass or anything like that, so we took it over to these guys because Tyler's a talented mofo. So this is what we're looking at. Now, the front nose has not been mocked up yet or really fitted or done anything to. Here's the million-dollar question, I guess. How many hours do you have, do you think, just into the back half of the car?
If we're just talking body kit itself, I'd say about 50.
50 hours?
Yeah, because I didn't stick a lot with the stock dimensions that it had. It still needs to be widened a little bit more there in the center and the rear.
Okay.
But the way they sent us the kit, it was just an overlap. So it just laid right on top of the metal. It didn't flare anything. It didn't look like anything was done to it.
Right.
So I took and grabbed 1/2 inch fiberglass, went around everything, and brought it out 1/2 inch on all the flares.
Well, let's take a look at what 50 hours gets us so far. Now the rockers, Now the rockers, talk to me about the reinforcement that you did on the rockers, because this shit's this fiberglass and it's held on with, well, you made brackets, didn't you?
Yeah, so I grabbed a 1/2 inch stock, a square stock, and then I cut it on a diagonal and made like a little L shape out of it, because I just didn't trust screwing the fiberglass to the car and it not cracking. Your foot's gonna hit that, the door's gonna slam right there. There's just a lot of action that goes on right there.
Yeah.
So I put reinforcements every, I was at about 1/2 foot, and then welded all those on, and then screwed and flush mounted the tabs to the fiberglass rockers.
That's awesome. So this fucker is on here.
Yeah.
Okay.
We did have a little incident where somebody sanded a little too far down, but no biggie.
Let paint and body figure that out.
3M panel bond on everything, dude. Like, that's the shit.
Panel bond is amazing. You know, we early on we had some issues with trying to do a shaved look. We used panel bond, but I mean the vast majority of everything works with panel bond. It pretty much sticks.
I mean, hell, they don't even weld cars together anymore. Panels don't get welded on; they all get glued on. I did it for a couple years before I decided to come back over here and do this again. And that's all I did was glue quarter panels on Dodges and rockers, and they don't get welded on.
You see some Eleanors out there with the gap right here for the Shelby side scoop. I love what you did with it in shaving it, because it looks clunky the other way.
Yeah, and I didn't like how it looked like it was a glue-on kit, right? So you could see the seam of everything where it went on, and we're gonna make it look like an Eleanor. Let's make it look like it should be.
Yeah, I'm into that. Now, I'm gonna get in here to the cutout, what you did with the exhaust. So there's already an exhaust tip in there, and he's plumbed part of the exhaust up. This car has some wicked suspension since it's getting Coyote in it. Talk to me about the exhaust. How long did that take you?
The first side, I was probably about 4 or 5 hours into that, just making sure it fit right, because we had put a 4-link in the rear of this, and then I had reinforced everything that the 4-link mounts to, and didn't think about where the exhaust come out on the sides.
Right.
At first I was concerned because I didn't think the car was going to sit this high. I thought it was going to sit a whole lot lower, but they make cutouts in the frame that you can buy, replace, and the exhaust runs right through that, so you don't got to go down and over and make all them bends if you don't have an exhaust bender like we do.
Right.
But the tips, everything on there all the way up to the exhaust pipe is handmade, just because I didn't know how I was going to do it.
Right.
The rocker was already getting put on the car, and it was like, oh yeah, wait a minute, exhaust.
Got to figure out the exhaust. Yeah.
First Mustang, never even done any of them.
Yeah.
And then to do an Eleanor kit to be the first one on top of that, it was a learning curve, right?
Right.
I just haven't done one of these yet. But this one came together pretty smooth. You got to watch what kits you do buy. This one, the quality of it could have been better. The fiberglass was like where the seams were wider in some spots, so we had to go through and cut and flush all that down
Sure.
and fit right, which is to be handled with any kind of kit you buy. But
now, wheel wells. How are the flares? Pretty straightforward?
so like I said, these flares, everything that we got for it, they just laid right over the top of the metal, so you couldn't even see it, and it had this little bitty lip on it. So I grabbed a piece of 1/2-inch fiberglass and then put that all the way around the edge of it, split it here, and then brought this whole flare out, just so it actually looked flared.
So I watched that process. That was dope.
So and then on top of this with the fiberglass, with that, I think we got it out to 1.5 inches, almost 2 inches on top of what it was supposed to sit stock,
That's dope.
just to give it a little more aggression.
Now y'all are still, and that's why it's on this side of the shop. I think it's going into a little bit more body work.
We're gonna get ready to primer the inside of it so we can start plumbing everything and make sure it's not gonna get in the way of nothing. I mean, them Coyote motors, they take a lot.
They do. Yep. Now side scoops, pretty straightforward. Same thing here.
Same thing. I just, like I said, I didn't like the seam, so we just flushed it all the way off so you couldn't see it.
Looks way good. Quarter panel extensions. How much work did you have to do to the quarter panel extensions?
You know, I haven't had to do much any work to the quarter panel extensions. I am gonna have to do a little bit of work right here on the trunk deck lid itself, just because it's bubbled out instead of being flat.
Gotcha.
But it's a thick fiberglass, you get to sand it down.
That's really good. Again, shaved seams. Now we're going to get to a really cool part here. Well, first off, let's talk about what happened here, because I love your solution.
Yeah, so they decided to do this 4-link setup with a panhard bar. You ran out of room, which is okay because we don't have to run exhaust back there.
Right.
So right here in this boxed area, this used to come flat down and then run flush, right? Like you see on the rest of them, they just kind of flushed up.
Yep.
You see where I cut it, brought it up, and that holds the bar for the shocks to go across. It gave us a little bit more room in there. You can see where the mounts go for the gas tank. Plenty of room for everything.
Just a really elegant solution. It looks fucking dope.
Made it cleaner for, like you can see the tip of the exhaust, or the gas lines there.
Yeah.
There's just room under there now.
So much room. So much room for activities.
And then both frame rails are locked in with a 1/2-inch pipe all the way across, and then with that panhard bar leg.
And it needs it because, again, these cars are unibody cars. And when you're throwing high horsepower or, you know, fairly decent horsepower into these,
I suggest you put frame connectors on.
always frame connectors. Fucking always frame connectors. So looking down this side, same thing here. See? Got our exhaust coming out there. Hand fab, just fucking killer work. Let's talk about the gas cap because, okay, here's the thing. I love the Le Mans style gas caps, but they come out to like here.
Yeah.
Like,
They're monstrous.
they're
If you give me like
huge.
2 seconds, I'll grab it.
Yeah. Jesse, what you doing?
Doing what fat people do best.
Car yoga?
Yeah.
Dope.
Laying underneath the dash.
Yeah, you're doing great, man.
Thanks, dude.
Oh, you Marley puppy.
I don't know anything what I'm doing.
None of us do, bud. All right, let's take a look at this dope cap.
So it's more of a flush mount cap. I got all the bolts in there now. All right, so we'll just get those out of the way. Drop them, lose them.
We never lose
Get
bolts.
mad at ourselves later.
Yeah. That's so much better. You got it?
And then it'll cock, so it'll run flush with that right there. It sits about like that, so all these lines kind of go together. Bam.
That's called attention to detail, kids. That's beautiful.
And all thread threaded in, ready to go. Pull it on off.
And it's so much better because, like, the other one's
They look
serious.
like a boat, dude. It reminded me of a boat.
Like, honestly, it is.
Drag racer boat style, which is okay for its thing, or if you have like a Cobra, that's kind of okay, but dude, that thing was...
It's aggressive. It's terribly aggressive. Now let's look at the front lip part, or the front nose part. First one we got, which was a Dynacorn one, I think. I think it was a Dynacorn one. Was like how far out of whack was it?
It was about 2 inches too wide on both sides, like, and you couldn't fold it in because you're supposed to be able to cut these off.
Yep.
And then flush mount all this together, so it's just one beautiful line. There's no way that was happening.
Yep. And so you guys know that's the top piece. This is the bottom piece, and they're basically gonna hang out together. They're gonna stack on top of each other. So there's room on this one that you can sand and do body work. You have to do all of your own cutouts, etc. Oh, a lot of room right there. That's nice. A lot of meat. for sandables.
And if it all works out right, there'll be an air filter box that gets blown out right about here. And I'll live, and maybe I'll build like a vent, some like frog skin or something on this side.
Oh, that'd be dope.
Because, dude, that motor's gonna need some cold air.
It is gonna need some cold air.
Stack filters on top of the engine. That's just goofy.
It is goofy looking, isn't it?
It's goofy and it defeats the purpose. You put a cold air intake on it to get cold air. Don't stack it on your header.
All right, Tyler. So there is, and I've known this, but I've only done one Eleanor kit, and it was a long time ago, and I didn't do any of the fiberglass work. So, would you ever want to do this again?
Yeah, for sure. The first one was nerving, right? This being the first one, not knowing how it was going to go, not knowing how any of it was going to go together, right? Yeah, I'd do another one, but now that we have all of our notes, we know what's going to fit, what's not going to fit. I don't think I would go with this style of 4-link. It's a lot. I feel a little more over aggressive than you're going to need, and it takes a lot of welding.
So to cover so the Eleanor kit, essentially everything is fiberglass except for the tail panel. That's it. And that's just a Shelby metal tail panel from Dynacorn, right? Thank God they make those. The deck lid, which we get, is also Dynacorn. We've played with some Mustangs to Fear products, etc. So the rest of this really is just fiberglass. So if you're thinking about doing an Eleanor kit at home, understand that it's more than like the Buddy Club body kit days. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You remember that Import Tuner magazine? You go to the back and it's like, I could probably afford a $500 Buddy Club body kit for my 93 Escort.
A couple screws,
Yeah,
do anything.
it'll just go straight on, right? Yeah. These things take a lot of fitment and a lot of time. Tyler, you're at least 50 hours into this so far, and you haven't really touched the front nose, the hood, none of that shit yet. So we're going to be at least another 50 hours-ish to get everything to fit right.
Yeah.
Just to get ready to do body and paint.
Yeah, just to get it all up to where it's all one stage like this. Yeah, at least 50, but there's a lot that goes into it because of what we're putting into it. The motor, the AC, everything else like that. We're trying to think of that now, so we don't build the kit and then be like, oh,
exactly.
Shit, now I got to cut a big old hole out of this.
Yeah, doing it in the right order. I'll take a look at pricing, you know, in post and post up some pricing for kits, etc. All right, guys, this is a good time for pricing. I've done a little bit of research. I know a few companies that sell these kits. So I wanted to go through and kind of give you some ballpark pricing and 3 different options that you could go with. There's many options out there. However, these are 3 of the main options for you, and they kind of cover the gambit as far as pricing is concerned. Our first option is the most expensive option, but it's probably the higher quality option for most parts. So Mustangs to Fear sells everything for the Eleanor kit, and they have it in a couple of different flavors as far as like different style bumpers, etc. The entire kit from Mustangs to Fear is about $8,700 plus whatever they charge you for shipping. They have everything here from the flares to the rockers, the flare scoops, upper and lower, the deck lids, quarter panel extensions, weather stripping, all, and even the bumpers, all of that good stuff. This kit, Mustangs to Fear, is a very reputable company. Their stuff fits very, very well, but disclaimer, I've never installed a Mustangs to Fear I have never installed a Mustangs to Fear Eleanor kit before. I've installed a bunch of their other stuff and it's worked great, but that's my disclaimer up front. I have not installed their Eleanor kit yet, so I can't really speak to the quality of the kit, but I can speak to the quality of the company, if that makes sense. So that's about $8,700. Another option, which is kind of on the other end of the spectrum here, is you can get the whole thing from this company called Fiberglass Industries. They're in El Paso. I know they've been doing this for a long ass time. They have fairly positive ratings on eBay, etc. I know I'm softly recommending eBay parts, which kills me, but there's just not a lot of people that make these kits. And from what I've heard of people using these kits, a lot of work needs to be done with them, but that foundationally and for the price, it's a very good deal. This kit that comes with your tail panel and your rockers, scoops, deck lid, upper, lower nose, etc. All of this together is about $3,500. They'll ship it for $400. Okay, so the whole kit off of this El Paso company on eBay is about $3,900 shipped. Now, the third option here is kind of a little bit of a mix, and it's going to fall right around the same price range as this whole eBay kit, but I think that there's a little bit of an advantage to it. Now, Dynacord makes a lot of the stuff, some of the stuff for the Eleanor kit. They make the hood, they make the deck lid, they make the quarter panel extensions, they make the front nose, they make the tail lamp panel, which is metal. That's a big bonus. So what you can actually do, and you as a consumer, you can actually get half of this kit from CJponyparts, because it's all Dynacorn stuff anyway. Link in the description, and I'll give you a discount code below as well that you can save 5%. But if you get about half of the kit, if you get the hood, the deck lid, the quarter panel extensions, the front nose, and the tail lamp panel from CJponyparts, you're going to get a metal tail panel, you're going to get a deck lid and quarter panel extensions that really are the closest thing to fitting that we have found so far. So you get the quality here, and then you finish off the kit with your rockers, your upper and lower scoops, which technically the uppers and lowers you can get on CJ as well. But you can get the rockers, upper, lower scoops, as well as the front and rear flares from that company in El Paso. Now, if you put the kit together that way, it's going to be about $3,400. There is a catch to this, though, and some of you may be saying, well, that means I have to ship from two places. You're exactly right. You're going to have to pay for shipping from Las Vegas to wherever you're at for CJponyparts, and then you'll have to pay for shipping from El Paso on these parts to where you're at. So, yeah, you might need to tack on an extra, $500 to $800 for shipping, depending. But this way, the main benefit here is you're getting the deck lid and quarter panel extensions that are proven to be fairly good, as well as you're getting a tail lamp panel, a Shelby tail lamp panel that is metal, which is by far 100% the way to go. So that's my little blurb about pricing. There's other ones out there, but these are kind of the three main ones that I would recommend you going. Back to it. Now, paint.
That all relies in the hands of the beholder, man. Like,
dude. Let's talk about paint for a second, because I have seen some kits on cars and the paint was just absolute dog shit because they decided to save money
at the end.
At the end.
I've seen it the opposite way too, where they should have put a little bit more money into the kit and not so much money into making her shiny. Because goddamn, the kit's all come undone, and then you got what, a $20,000 paint job sitting on broken fiberglass.
Well, exactly, and that's why you need to make sure that qualified people are doing it every step of the way.
Not any glue will work.
No, and don't use self-tappers. Put thought into it. We may do more videos on install in the future, because I'm sure as shit still not going to learn fiberglass and start putting on these Eleanor kits. So if y'all want Eleanor kits done, that's fine. Call me, but they're coming next door to this happy face veteran that almost has one half of an Eleanor kit under his belt. Almost. But look how good it fucking looks. What would you tell the people at home is the most important part of putting on an Eleanor kit?
Prep. Your prep is 100% gonna make or break your car. Dude, if you just start slapping glue of whatever on top of whatever, it's not gonna stick, it's not gonna hold. It might be good for 10 years, it might be good until you sell the car, and then you got a $130,000 oh no.
Yep.
I've seen that a dozen times on YouTube, like holy shit.
Yep.
And that scared me, and that's why I did a little bit more depth on this one. Like, dude, you just can't glue whatever to whatever and hope it fits. I'm not saying I've been doing this for a long time, but I was taught prep. Dude, you gotta prep it.
Gotta prep.
Gotta be prepped, and gotta be prepped right. Because the fiberglass is gonna cool down different than the metal is.
Yep.
This is gonna cool down different than the fiberglass and the metal. This is flexible.
Right.
This is gonna cool down, it's gonna expand, it's gonna retract, it's gonna do all the stuff and not crack.
Like Tyler was saying, if you do all this work and you throw on the kit incorrectly and then you take it to a highly skilled painter, he paints it, In 5 years, 10 years, it's not his fault if the fiberglass starts flexing, if you haven't done your due diligence on what properties to use in between metal and fiberglass so that everything expands and contracts at the same way. We've done this. We've made this mistake before when we tried to do shave seams on the quarter panel extensions on an S-code. And we used the wrong product, and we ended up painting, and it ended up getting a crack into it. So take it from people that know that this takes a shit ton of time and effort. Another tip here, he just brought up, end goals. Okay, so that's one of the things that I really like to do when I'm doing like an intake call. So someone comes to me and says, okay, I want a coupe to fastback conversion. Great. What's your end goal? Do you want a Coyote? Do you want reliable low reliable daily driver horsepower? Do you want wide tires in back? What do you want it to look like? Like
you a Pro Street? What kind of car are we making you? Are you going to drive it to the gas station? Are you going to take it to the track? You know, rip it down the freeway? What do you plan on doing with this thing? Parking in your garage and showing it off to your buddies?
It all matters. It all matters step by step. So have an idea. If you just say, okay, well, I want an Eleanor car, just understand that there's a lot that goes into that, and we need to know what your end goals are. So have that in, write it down, have a plan in mind, and that's the only way that you're going to have a shot at keeping costs low on a build, because if it gets this far and it's fucked up, you had the wrong people do it, it gets to a painter, we don't want to see that end result on YouTube where it was in the wrong hands and now it costs you a shit ton of money. So this is a little bit of insight as to what it takes to actually get an Eleanor kit fitted correctly, done right. Tyler's done a killer job at this. Again, we're at Projects and Dreams here in Salt Lake City, which is basically right next door. They primarily do Chevy, Mopar, some Broncos, etc. We shuttle off some Mustangs to them every once in a while. So definitely check them out. All right, Tyler, thanks for your time. I'm sure you're going to be in future videos. Keep killing it with this. All right, everybody, that's it from Lost Socket Garage. If you are looking for a fastback, hit me up, lostsocketgarage@gmail.com. We can either build you one or find you one. If you enjoy the content today, consider liking and subscribing. Don't forget the bell notifications. And if you want to support the shop a little bit further, consider grabbing some merch. Links down below. Until next time, do what you love, don't be a dick, and as always, never be tamed. Peace!